We will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So, I have already informed before I came here. I will explain the life story of the Buddha according to the Vassa. It will be a collection of suttas. There were 15 places where the Buddha spent his Vassa. If we divide into 3 or 5, then now here I have to explain 6 days. So I divide into 3 places for 1 night. So tonight I have to introduce before enlightenment. We can find this is information in Majjhima Nikaya, Mahasajjaka Sutta. It is called to a wandering ascetic, Sajjaka. So, the first thing is, when did Bodhisattva attain jhana? Since he was very little boy, he had attained the first jhana of Anapanasati. How young he was, we can imagine. At the time, he could not walk by himself, but he could sit. So as you have children, you may know how old is he. Right? So he could not walk by himself, but he could sit. At the time, when his father celebrates bluffing ceremony with many of his attendants, almost all the attendants of Bodhisattva left and watched the ceremony, celebration. At the time, he had an opportunity, then sat down and start meditating. At the very spot, he could attain the first jhana. So you can imagine, since he was a very little boy, he had attained the first jhana. So this is his parami, the proof of parami. Then later, I will skip all the part you have known. Okay? Because I already have known when Bodhisattva got married, when he renounced, but only one more thing here. That one is seeing 4 great omens. So Bodhisattva saw the first omen, aging, an omen. From time to time, there were some questioners. They asked, I cannot believe that Bodhisattva had never seen an omen. But in reality, Bodhisattva had seen an omen or many omen because his father was also old. Many ministers were also old, but not that much ugly. The first time when he saw very, very old men, all the skin wrinkled, hair gray, very ugly old men. When seeing that, he felt sense of urgency. So why he had that much sense of urgency easily? If he have never seen that kind of old man, he will not realize he must be old. But now he realized that he must be old one day. Then when he become very old, we cannot carry our body easily, trembling, shaking. Then we have to move slowly also. When seeing an old man, he cannot enjoy any of entertainment in his palace. Every day, he had entertainment. Many dancers, singers, performers, they try many ways, but it doesn't make any pleasant things for him. So here one more thing. When we are young, we are proud of our youth. This is also called mana. We call in Bali Yubana mana. The proud of young people. In his case, when seeing an old man, no more proud of his youth or young age. At the time he was around 28 or 29. Now you're fully 29, we better say 28. Then, after feeling sense of urgency for a few months, if we say exactly around 4 months, after seeing an old man, he cannot enjoy for 4 months. Although he had full of sensual pleasure, many performers, many dancers, many singers, many musicians, it doesn't make him happy. Then, after 4 months, he visited his royal park again. There, he saw a sick man. In his life, he had never felt sick. So, he didn't know anything about suffering from sickness. When seeing a man moving slowly or unpleasant face, unpleasant appearance, skinny, bony, then he could realize this is also suffering. Then, one more thing, we have also mana. We call Arakya mana. When we are very healthy, we are proud of our health. So I'm healthy. I can eat whatever thing I like. I can go wherever I like. We have that kind of proud, that kind of pride. When seeing a sick man, the Buddha realized one day he must be sick. It got worse. Previously, 4 months, he had a very strong sense of urgency. Now again, the next omen. He couldn't use his sense of urgency 4 more months. Altogether 8 months already. Then finally, he saw a corpse carried by 4 men. When seeing it, he asked his attendant, Chana, who is it that? Why he cannot walk by himself? Why he must be carried by 4 persons? Then Chana replied, My Majesty, he was dead. He cannot walk anymore. That's why 4 persons had to carry him to throw away. On hearing that, do we have the nature of death? Then Chana said, everybody must die one day. So compared to aging and sickness, death is the words. On hearing that, he cannot enjoy sensual pleasure for 4 moments again. Altogether 1 year. So 1 year long sense of urgency. In our life, we don't have that kind of sense of urgency. Maybe a few weeks. After that, when we have something acceptable, we can feel happy again. In Bodhisattva case, 1 year. Very long sense of urgency. Then his mind does not incline to sensual pleasure. Finally, he saw an ordained person. He realized that he must renounce the words. Then, finally, as you have known, Bodhisattva renounced the words and lived in the Uruvela forest. You have known many parts of the story in the very beginning. So, now, one more thing. Before he spent his time alone, he approached 2 teachers. The first teacher is Alara Kalama. Alara was his personal name. Kalama is his lineage. So, approaching Alara Kalama, the Bodhisattva asked, Friend Kalama, which attainment have you achieved? Do you declare? Then Alara Kalama could explain how he achieved the jhana systematically. He didn't mention very simply, I have attained immaterial jhana. He explained in detail from the very beginning to the last attainment up to nothingness jhana. On hearing that, Bodhisattva could realize this Alara Kalama does not say only by faith. He just said what he had experienced. Then, how Bodhisattva can know he had experience? When we have experience, we have confidence. So he realized Alara Kalama had very strong confidence, very strong faith. If we say in Bali, Saddha. Now one more thing. In the case of Saddha, we have many explanations. So as we have known, belief in Buddhas and Buddha's quality, belief in Dhamma and Dhamma's quality, belief in Sangha, especially noble Sangha, and the qualities of the Sangha. Moreover, we must believe in 3 trainings: morality, concentration, wisdom. Then we also have to believe the benefits, the advantages of morality, concentration, and wisdom. The very important thing is belief in karma and its result. This is the reason why did Bodhisattva approach the Kalama, Alara Kalama. There were many other teachers. Some teachers may have many disciples. Some are very well known. But Alara Kalama is a very small group. Not that much well known. Now, why did Bodhisattva approach him? Because he believed in karma. Alara Kalama is one of the ascetic who believe in karma and its results. So almost all other religions or other teachers, they have very different teachings. For example, some of the teachers, they will say, we don't need to do dana. Dana is only wasting money. Wise person will accept donations, the foolish will offer. They criticize donation like that. So in brief, many of teachers didn't believe in karma and its result. Now, Alara Kalama believe in karma and its result. This is the one reason Bodhisattva approaching. Another thing is, he also has his disciple, but not that much strong. All of them are also good people. They have a good mind. Then Bodhisattva also compare, as Alara Kalama has confidence, Sada, I also have Sada. Then efforts, Viriya. Alara Kalama also had very strong efforts. He was very, very diligent. What ordinary efforts, ordinary Viriya, we cannot achieve that kind of jhana. We cannot attain immaterial jhana. He was very diligent, then he could attain that kind of jhana. Then we also have concentration, strong concentration. When he had attained concentration, when he attained jhana, he also had very strong concentration. Then Bodhisattva also believed he had that kind of power, that kind of possibility. Since he was a little boy, he had attained the first jhana. But after a long time in the sensual pleasure, he forgotten. Then now, when hearing the explanations of Alara Kalama, he could recall it. Then he believed that he could attain that kind of jhana. Then mindfulness. As Alara Kalama had very strong mindfulness, Bodhisattva also had very strong mindfulness. Then wisdom. As Alara Kalama was very wise, Bodhisattva was also wise. Then Bodhisattva also wished to learn under Alara Kalama's guidance. So within 2 days, 2 or 3 days, Bodhisattva could attain all the jhanas. Then he asked, have you attained only that stage? Have you attained any other attainment more than that? Alara Kalama said, this is the only higher attainment I have achieved now. Then Alara Kalama was very honest. He also honored Bodhisattva. Among his disciples, Bodhisattva can learn very fast within a few days. There are many, many disciples who cannot learn that much easily. Now you can practically experience even anapanasati. It takes very long times. So again, Alara Kalama shared his disciple with Bodhisattva. Now we will lead our group together. It is very rare gain to see like you, a good person. So we will lead our group together. So you can teach half of my disciple, I will teach half of my disciple. But Bodhisattva realized that is not the way to make inner suffering. This is only the way to be reborn in the immaterial Brahma worlds. Then he left Alara Kalama and his group. He approached another teacher, Uddaka Ramabuddha. Uddaka is his personal name. Rama is his father's name, Buddha means son of Rama. So his father, Rama, could attain 4 immaterial jhana. Altogether, 8 attainments. So, Uddaka Rama Buddha also believed in karma and its result. So, very strong confidence, very strong viriya, diligence, and very strong concentration, mindfulness, and wisdom. When Bodhisattva asks, up to which attainment have you achieved? Then Uddaka Rama Buddha explained how he had achieved up to which attainment in detail, from the very beginning to the end. Then he went to study under Uddaka Rama Buddha. Within few days, he could attain all the attainments as Uddaka Rama Buddha had attained. Then here, Uddaka Rama Buddha also shared his disciple with Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva left the group and lived alone in the Uruvela. So one more. They will explain here. Bodhisattva had a very strong sense of urgency for 1 year. When we have very strong sense of urgency, we don't have mana, pride. So we are very humble. Then, when we have very strong sense of urgency, we become diligent naturally. Bodhisattva was naturally very wise, very intelligent. Then, when he was spending his time in Uruvela, after leaving Uddaka Rama Buddha, he thought about his practice. He also thought about all the other ascetics practicing in the forest. There are many ascetics. They will renounce the world together with the family. Then all of them live in the forest together. Although they change the clothes, they are not much different from layperson. There were also many ascetics who renounce the world. Also, they live alone, but they have many pleasurable things. They enjoying this, enjoying that. There were also many ascetics who live alone. They also have very strong contentment. So now Bodhisattva, when he was in the Uruvela, the 3 similes appear in his mind. The first one. Okay, before talking about simile, I should explain how to make fire. You may have seen very classic movie. They make fire, rough against 2 woods. After that, it make hot, make fire. So here, the simile was, if there was a firewood, naturally it's wet. That means if we cut the woods now, it will be wet. If we keep it for a few months, it will be dry. But newly cut woods, soak in the water. After pull out the water, if we rub against with fire kindling stick, it cannot produce fire because the wood is wet, soaked in the water. Similarly, if we have internal defilements, internally wet, we also have many enjoyable things. Then, although we try very hard, although we have to suffer a lot from our practicing, we cannot achieve anything. So the first thing Buddha saw that one. around the forest, he could see many ascetics. They tried very hard. They had to suffer from many things, but they could not attain anything. For himself, he realized that we must be free from external enjoyable things or internal defilements. So one more thing. Here I have said, they have to suffer from their practice. In ancient time, there were many ascetics. They have good intention. They also wish to eradicate the defilements. They thought, if they torture their body because of too much painful, defilement will not arise. With the thought, they are trying very hard. For example, in this winter, it was very cold. They jumped down into the water, live inside the water, very cold. Then because of torturing the body, no more defilements. In the summer, it was very hot. They live under the sunshine, under the sunlight. Moreover, they put fire in 4 places. So heating in 5 places. On the top, sunlight. In front and back and 2 sides, fires. When their body became very hot, then because of tiring, no more defilement arise. So many of ascetics try many ways. After that, when they become very tired, they relax, enjoy many things. Everything become normal. Not much different. So the second simile. If we have firewood, newly cut, it was wet. By using a fire kindling stick, if we rub against the wet firewood, it cannot produce fire. Similarly, we don't have any external enjoyable things. We don't accept anything, but we have internally very strong defilements. We cannot achieve anything. So here we have to know the danger of defilements. Sometimes we give up many things, give up many things. But after that, we just remember that thing we have giving up. That's the way we have to understand. As ordinary person also, we have to give up many things also. But mentally, we just inclined to that thing we have to give up. But we cannot give up strong attachment to it. That's the second simile. We have nothing to enjoy, but internally burning very strongly. We cannot improve anymore. Now Bodhisattva also could see that there were many ascetics, they give up many things, they don't have anything, but they wish to get many things. As ordinary person, we have a few kilos. Sometimes we don't want to get material things, we just want to be famous. This is it worse. Mostly whenever I have to give order to my disciple, I just say very simple thing, especially bhikkhu. 3 things will kill you. The first one is gain. If you gain many things, if you have many donors, it will spoil you. Second one, fame. If we become famous, mind start changing, spoil. Similarly, the last one, honors. If many people honors, many people praise, then spoil. So now, there are many ascetics. They don't wish to get property, but they just want to be famous. This is also internally burning. Sometimes they don't wish to be famous, but they just want to be honored by many people. Then internally burning. When we have many improper wishes, This means defilements. Internet defilements, although we don't possess anything, although we practice very diligently, also suffer from many things, we cannot attain anything. Then the last one. If drying wood far from the water, we rub against with fire kindling stick, it will produce fire. Similarly, if we can eradicate all the defilements, or if we can subside our defilements, and if we can be very far from external desirable objects, enjoyable things, then we can attain jhana, path of fruition knowledge. After seeing these four similes, so three similes, Bodhisattva trying very hard, so you have no many parts. Then, here one more thing, anapanasati. At the time, what Bodhisattva practiced? Bodhisattva practiced anapanasati. But different from now, what we are practicing. That means Bodhisattva has made many mistakes in anapanasati. That is why when he explained to his disciple, he just said very simply, what was his mistake? First, he controlled his breathing. Now you can try controlling breathing. You feel suffocating, chest pain, not that much comfortable. So he's trying to control breathing from his nose. Close the nose. Control the breathing. Then breathing come out from the mouth. The wind come out from the mouth. Then later he's trying to control both mouth and nose. The wind go out from the ear. Also he feel a lot of pain in his head. The Buddha gave one simile, how he suffered at that time. A strong man using leather bed tied his head, pulled into two different directions. So you can see very tight, very much pain and headache. So later he controlled nose, mouth, ear. The wind cannot go out. So very strong pain in the head, in the center of the head. The Buddha mentioned, if a strong man is going to stab with very sharp weapon in his head, very strong headache, he suffer. But his willingness stays strong. Although he had to suffer from many things when he was practicing, he still couldn't use practicing. It took very many years. You have known finally he ate a very little amount of food. He became very skinny, very thin. Finally became very weak. Even when he walk, he cannot walk properly. Sit down. Then his body became very weak. I think you can imagine about more than 5 years, nearly 6 years already. Eating very little, sleeping very little, very diligent. Then finally, he could not enter into any jhana. So he had attained first jhana when he was a little boy. He had attained an attainment from Udakarama Buddha. But now, no more. He could not enter into any single jhana. After that, he thought, there were no ascetic like me who could practice. That means there are so many ascetics, they eat very little. Actually, when we study in Mahasajjaka Sutta, we can find many of Asian traditions. So every second day they eat, once a week they eat, 1 month or 1 time a month they eat, something like that. Until they become very thin. They reduce the amount of the food. Finally, when they become very weak, they eat again. They don't wish to die. Eat again. When they can recover, they're trying again. Now in Bodhisattva case, he tried very long years, the same amount of eating, a handful bean soup for 1 day. So his body became very weak. Finally, he could not enter to any jhana. He decided this is something wrong. Then he found the middle way. The middle ways you have known, the Eightfold Path. So when Bodhisattva started eating, previously 5 bhikkhus, 5 ascetics took care of him, but now they also left. Bodhisattva was alone. Then that one is also a good opportunity for him. When 5 bhikkhus left, he was alone, more quiet. Then, one more. 2 weeks after their departure, they are leaving, Bodhisattva could attain all the attainment. So that means his body strength is strong enough to attain jhana again. So after eating in 15 days, he can regain. Then he could use his practice based on anapanasati. He could remember he had already practiced when he was a little boy. After practicing anapanasati up to jhanas, he could also practice all other kasinas and all other methods. Then we better go to the last day of Bodhisattva, before attainment. In the last day, when Bodhisattva was practicing under the Bodhi tree, which method did he use? We can understand Bodhisattva practice samatha. Bodhisattva practice anapanasati. After that, 8 kasinas, up to 8 attainments. How can we know that? Bodhisattva practice all these things. What Bodhisattva attained at the very night. The first watch of the night, Bodhisattva attained recollection of the knowledge or recollection of past lives, past existences. Second watch of the night, Bodhisattva attained divine eyes. So based on samatha, we can attain that kind of knowledge. Based on 8 kasinas and 8 attainments, we can attain that kind of achievement. Without that, it's impossible to achieve that one. For example, to have good job, you must have good education. You live in Singapore, it's very clear for you, right? Similarly, to achieve that kind of knowledge, we have requirement. Without 8 attainments and 8 jhanas, impossible. So if someone say Bodhisattva was pure vipassana vehicle, then we must not believe that one. Bodhisattva was samatha vehicle. Based on samatha, he couldn't use practicing vipassana. Then at the very night, before the sunset, the Buddha went Maras and Maras armies. Then he couldn't use practicing whole night. Based on 8 attainments. He practiced 14 ways of training minds. When the mind became very quiet, calm, stable, and very bright, based on light kasina or white kasina, we can continue discerning past existences, past lives. So again, based on light kasina, fire kasina, or white kasina, we can also discern divine beings. We can also see divine beings. So Bodhisattva attained Bhuvanivassanosati in the first watch of the night, then divine eyes in the second watch of the night. Based on that, Bodhisattva couldn't use his Vipassana practice. So here I have to introduce 7 purification. The first one is the purifications of morality, sila visuddhi. At that time, Bodhisattva was very pure, very good practitioners, pure in morality. Then again, citta visuddhi, purifications of mind. Bodhisattva had attained psychic power. Mind is very pure. Okay, here one more thing. Right concentration and the purifications of the mind. What is the difference between these two? Actually, the same. When we have right concentration, we also have purifications of the mind. There will be different requirements. For Vipassana, pure Vipassana practitioners, they must have asset concentration. For Samatha practitioners, jhana attainment. Now, for Bodhisattva, he had practiced very strong Samatha up to psychic power. His mind was pure already. Then second, the next purification. Purifications of the view. That means, based on that, the concentration, we must couldn't use discerning nama and rupa. So that means we also have to know nama in detail. We also have to know rupas in detail. How in detail we must know. Bodhisattva case. He could know internally and externally. So Bodhisattva knowledge was so strong that he could discern very much in detail external living beings. Here it mentioned many universes. Living beings from many universes. So Bodhisattva could know nama rupas of many living beings in many universes. Also, Bodhisattva could know individually. We don't have that kind of power. Then we have a different ability, different discernment. For example, Pajjika Buddha. They could know nama rupas of individual living beings in the Middle Land, India. They could also know individual living beings. Nama rupas of individual living beings. But Venerable Sariputta and Mahamukkalana, chief disciple, they could discern only general nama rupas of living beings in the Middle Land. They could not discern individual nama rupas of living beings. Nama rupas of individual living beings. So now Bodhisattva could discern nama rupas of individual living beings in many universes. We better use multiverse maybe nowadays, right? Anyway, so when we can see Nama and Rupa in detail, we can purify wrong view. We can be free from wrong view. The perceptions of anicca, dukkha, anatta also become very clear. So then we have to know momentary arising and perishing of nama rupa. Then we can know there's no everlasting entity. We can overcome identity views. That's why after understanding nama rupa very much in detail, we have that kind of purification. The purifications of view. Another one is the purifications of overcoming doubt. At the stage, we have to know causal relationship between past and present and future. That means we have to discern past lives, all the causes. Now, there will be some question. Can we see past lives with inside knowledge? Actually, it's possible. But it will be very different from psychic power. When we see past lives with psychic power, we can know very many things in detail. Our name, our lifespan, how we eat, how we wear, where is our living place, how we live, how we survive, what's our relationship with our environment. We can know very many things in detail. But when we can see past lives with inside knowledge, we can see only the causes in the past lives. We better say upadana khanda, clinging aggregates, and causes. So we cannot see that much in detail like psychic power. That's why it's possible to know our past lives with inside knowledge. Even non-Buddhist ascetic could attain that kind of knowledge, seeing their past lives, but not so strong as Buddha or Buddha disciple. So, when we discern past lives with inside knowledge, we have to follow nama rupa, the city of nama rupas that arise and perish very rapidly. Just follow the process, move backwards until you can see existence. Similarly, non-body ascetic, when they attain that kind of knowledge, they must follow Namarupa without skipping any single process of Namarupa. Then they could see their past lives. But Buddha disciple. So Buddha have special methods. Also expert person, we can jump, rebirth to death, rebirth to death. If we start from this life, we get here this life to rebirth, rebirth to death, rebirth to death. We can move backwards. This is Buddha's power, also Buddha disciples' power. So, in brief, when we can know causal relationship between this life and past and present and future, we can overcome doubt about the past existences, past lives. We can also overcome doubt about future. We can also overcome doubt about this very life. Sometimes we also doubt about ourselves, whether I am human being or not. Actually, it just means if there are any everlasting entity or not. We have that kind of doubt. So after understanding causal relationship, we can overcome that kind of doubt. That's why this is called doubt overcoming purifications or purifications of overcoming doubt. So actually these two are the basis of insight knowledge. not yet 100% inside knowledge, only foundation. So based on that, we have to continue contemplating nature dukkha anatta. The Bodhisattva case, he disarmed all the nama rupas of living beings, individual living beings. Then he disarmed causal relationship of their past lives, present, future. After discerning causal relationship, he continues contemplating nature dukkha anatta. So even foundation is very strong. Then Bodhisattva could practice very well. Finally, he could attain arhatship, Buddhahood, in the last watch of the night. So here we have to explain many things, especially even in inside knowledge. We have to explain many things. If I have opportunity in many other day, I will going to use today. Bodhisattva achieve Buddhahood in the full moon day of Vassa. Then the next day, maybe before dawnrise, Bodhisattva attain Buddhahood. Then the next day, the Buddha spent his time under the Bodhi tree for 7 days, just entering into different attainments he has already achieved. So, if we summarize Buddha's enlightenment, we can know Bodhisattva was samatha vehicle practitioners. Why do we need to practice samatha? When we become very tired, we must have a resting place. That's why we need samatha. Then those who practice pure vipassana, what will be their resting place? Their resting place will be only asset concentration. So not so strong. If we can do both samatha and vipassana, then we have stronger concentration. Our mind becomes very flexible, strong, also bright, very bright light, also can penetrate the Dhamma clearer and better. This is the way of Buddha's teaching. So today we don't have that much time. Only very beginning of Buddha's life, before start spending Vassa. Okay? So now I have to introduce some places, only the list. So I have said 15 places the Buddha spent Vassa. The first place is Isipatana, where the Buddha delivered Dhammacakka. Then after that, the Buddha spent his time in Rajagha. Buddha spent Rajagha actually 5 Vassa. After that, Vesali. Then we have to already know in Vesali, Buddha delivered Ratana Sutta. This is the first time when Buddha visits. The Buddha arrived at Vesali, the Buddha delivered Ratana Sutta. Then again, Makula mountain. Nobody knows the place. We don't have any suttas the Buddha delivered in that place. But we have some connected events that happen at the time. Then the first word, okay, I have to calculate by Vassa. First Vassa in Varanasi, second, third, fourth in Rajagaha, fifth in Vesali, sixth in Makula, seventh in Davatisa. Then eighth Vassa in Susumara Gira, ninth Vassa in Kosambi, 10th in Bali Leka Forest, 11th in Nala Village, then 12th in Jalika Hill, and also 13 this is the first time Buddha visited Jetavana. Then 14th in Jarika again. Then 15 in his native town, Kapilavatthu. Then 16 in Alawi. Then 17 Rajagaha again. Then 18 and 19 in Jarika here again. After that, the from 21st to 20 also in Rajagaha, 21st to 44th in Savatthi. The last Vassa in Velua village. These are the order of Buddha's spanning Vassa. Okay? So now the organizer here asked me to explain as many as detail as possible. Right? If I explain very much in detail, I cannot complete within 6 days. Maybe they wish me to come back here again. Maybe. Anyway, so altogether we have 15 places. So the Buddha spans in Rajagaha 5 Vassas, Jalikahi 3 times, also Savatthi very long times. That's why we have only 15 places. So in some places we don't have any particular discourses, but we can also some connected events. So I have to explain all the things according to the Vassa. Okay? So today Buddha hasn't spun any Vassa yet, just newly enlightened. Okay? So if I think you haven't known, I will skip all the parts. For example, 49 days around the Bodhi trees. You may know. I will skip all these parts. Maybe some even will be a little bit new to you. I will explain the one. Generally, we know Buddha's life story, but there are many things we don't know. Right? We know partially, we don't know in detail. I will explain all these parts. Okay? So, Buddha said, Bodhu Baro Dunabo. The arisings of Buddha is very rare opportunity. Why is very rare? Fulfilling Parami, maturity of Parami. If Parami become very mature, they could attain Buddhahood. If not very mature yet, could not attain. Another thing is people's condition. If people could understand the Dhamma, the Buddha appear. If people cannot understand the Dhamma, Buddha may not appear. So now we can digest Buddha's teaching, we can also learn Buddha's teaching, although the Buddha entered pre-Nibbana. We can learn Buddha's teaching. Dhamma is Dhamma. When Buddha was going to enter pre-Nibbana, he also talked to the Venerable Ananda. After my pre-Nibbana, Dhamma will be your teacher. So, Buddha is our teacher. Similarly, Dhamma is also our teacher. We have a guidance. If we follow Buddha's guidance, we also have to follow Dhamma. If we follow the Dhamma, as Buddha himself achieve enlightenment, attain enlightenment, we can also attain enlightenment. So basically, we must know 3 trainings. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. We have to go step by step, without jumping or skipping any part of it. If we can practice systematically, we can also realize the final cessation, Nibbana. Okay? May you all be able to practice Buddha's teaching and realize the final cessation, Nibbana. Usually, how long do previous Dhamma talk give? 1 hour or 1.5 an hour? 1.5 an hour. Okay, so tomorrow I will do 1.5 an hour. Yeah, 49 days. Huh? What? Why? So, after enlightenment, it's very rare. After enlightenment, he will be busy. There's a resident time. So, okay, one more thing. To review, or maybe, for example, like one Buddha was in the Ratanagara, Buddha trying to overview Tipitaka, the Buddha duties. So Buddha recall it how previous Buddha laid down Vinaya rules, up to which states previous Buddha laid down the rules, or what kind of offense. Similarly, Sutta, what kind of Sutta Buddha delivered to what kind of people. Vidama, what kind of things can be considered as a Vidama. So the Buddha review all the Tipitaka and day by day. Also, the Buddha review his enlightenment the first 7 days. Right? You know, Anika Jadi Sansara. Morning chant here. Huh? Morning chant. This is the first week under the Bodhi tree. Also, at the same day, the Buddha also review dependent origination. Vajja Paja Sankara, Sankara Paja Vijnana. All the stuff he has already practiced. Review. Then he also entered into many attainments at the very spot. So 7 days, in different place, the Buddha have review many different things. For example, in Ajapala Sadaha, there Buddha review how previous Buddha practice. This means without dependence, if we live, it's improper. So we must have some dependence. So finally the Buddha realized, I must depend on Dhamma. There are no other people who can be his dependent. No Brahma, no Deva, nobody is superior to him. So he just realized Dhamma must be his dependent. Like that. Huh? So he recall it different ways, different things. Okay? Okay. Sadhu. Any other? Not many questions. Today is totally new. After that, only just share merits, right? Share merits. Okay, now we will share merits. Huh? If no question, we will share merits. Chanting together. I don't need to lead. Chanting together. Okay. Lead. Ita amihi or where do we start? Ita amihi. Okay. 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 Be after me. Ita wadaja amihi. Sambadam bunya sambadam. Sabbe deva numodandu. Sabbe buddha numodandu. Sabbe satta numodandu. Sabba sampati siddhiyang. Idam me nyatinam hotu. Sukhita hundu nyadayo. Idam me nyatinam hotu. Sukhita hundu nyadayo. Idam me nyatinam hotu. Sukhita hundu nyadayo. Idam me punyam. Asawakayam. Waham hotu. Idam me punyam. Nibbanasa. Pajayo. Hotu. Mama punya bhagam. Sabba sadanam. Bhajemi. Te sabbe. Me samam. Punya bhagam. Labandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.